Dear John and Hank, I've often wondered what I'd say to you if I ever got the opportunity to meet you. That doesn't really seem as if it's going to happen anytime soon, if at all. So this video I'll have to do, and I do hope that at some point you get to see it. I'm a nerd, and I am absolutely 100% able to accept that, and I'm proud of it. It's an integral part of my identity, even if it does sometimes result in funny looks from my friends when I go on about the things I enjoy. No, I'm not what you would call typical in any sense of the word. I've never really been into the same kind of things that guys my age have been into, like football. I can't stand football, but when I was young, that was everything that anyone seemed to be going on about, and I just didn't find it at all interesting. And there's the same for a great many other things. But when I was younger, a lot of the time I felt I had to pretend that I was. I had to pretend that I was kind of into these things, and yeah, I wasn't particularly very good at it. But 3 years ago, I watched a video by Charlie McDonnell. It was the one in which he wrote a letter to the Queen, which detailed why he thought he should be knighted. And in the letter, he spoke the immortal line, "I am not made of flesh and blood, but as a nerd fighter, I am made of awesome." And I heard that, and I thought, well, I really want that. That sounds really cool. Can I have that, please? So through that, I searched and I found the Vlogbrothers FAQ and the Need to Watch video playlist, and I discovered that being the most genuine form of myself is the best thing I can be. Being absolutely myself without being anything fake or anything like that, without having to pretend to be anything I'm not, was the very, very greatest thing I could do. I discovered that nerds aren't weird or in any way lesser, but I discovered that completely contrary to that, they are just simply the most genuine of people and the most passionate of people. I discovered that I was allowed to be unironically enthusiastic about Doctor Who and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and anime and just all kinds of different stuff. Through finding Nerdfighteria, I discovered a place that I could be entirely myself without having to worry about hiding any things or having to augment myself to fit any kind of mould or anything like that. I found a place where I could be myself above anything else. Through becoming a part of Nerdfighteria, one of the things that has happened in my life is that my love of reading has been reignited. I used to be a really kind of voracious reader, and I used to read tons and tons of books all the time. But then, with my discovery of the internet, that kind of faded away a bit, and I didn't read quite so much. I would read occasionally, but not half as much as I used to. But then I read a little book called Paper Towns, and I just utterly devoured it. I sat down and read it through in one sitting. And that really just set my love of reading on fire again, if you will. That's a really cheesy phrase, isn't it? I'm sorry. But not only that, I've met some absolutely awesome people through being a nerd fighter. Not least of all, the 6 other people that I do this channel with. I don't think I would have ever been able to hope of finding such brilliant people in any other way, through any other method. And so yeah, as I said before, I've often wondered what I'd say to you if I got the chance to meet you, if I got the chance to physically interact, to shake your hands and to talk to you. I've tried to think of what kind of things I'd talk about, to the point where I'd want to talk about so many things that in my head I'd try to talk about them all at the same time and just get so muddled up and confused, and everything would go wrong, and I'd just have to not talk to you at all and silently fanboy. I mean, I understand that I'll probably never get to meet you, and that's fine. And this is probably the closest I'll ever get to actually expressing how I feel about Nerdfighteria and about the Vlogbrothers. But if there's only ever one thing I get to say to you, to John and Hank, to the Vlogbrothers, it'd be this. Thank you. From Benji. Sarah, I'll see you tomorrow. The FTBA.